Hi, I would like to introduce myself as being very experienced on the topic of finding suitable housing for the homeless. As I went from park to park, shelters, friends' homes, and other places that I couldn't call home, I realized that the only person I can depend on was me. I have tried many times to pull myself out of what I call a black, lonely, deep hole. But as I tried to climb out, I dropped deeper. Many people choose to be homeless because of stricter environments they have no control over, or that people are trying to help them, and they don't want to listen. But it don't matter how they got there, or if they choose to be there, they are considered homeless. And we as community, neighborhoods, we have to see how hard it must be and why they got themselves to this point. Many businesses, mayors, government workers, or any in the churches, facilities, or some organizations often donate large amounts of money to find suitable housing so that these men and women and children would have places to call their own. But if you look around, homeless is still out there, creating those problems of them lying in the streets and in front of homes and businesses and not having warm places to sleep. Often people would judge and be harsh with their words. They don't see how much deeper they are hurting those who don't have homes. We need to be more compassionate toward the ones who don't have the facilities that they can't access to call their own. I have been to soup kitchens where they have been feeding large amounts of adults and children that cannot access their own food and cooking appliances. All I ever hear is that the government don't have the money to help more and more, but don't realize the strain it's putting on those who are sweating over the hot stoves trying to get those meals out. And then there are the ones that say we don't have homes or money to help to get into those homes so you can stay warm. I have looked in my neighborhoods and saw homes that have been empty for years. I don't see why they are spending lots of money on things that are not important. The truth, but we need to look further into the truth and help when we can and do what we need to find those warm homes for the needy. They are human too and have hearts. We just need to find the compassion. We have found that being homeless in this society isn't something that people ask for, but more act like of knowing where we can go when things in our life isn't where we want it to be. I know that when you are homeless, you have to worry about the 4 seasons. And there's winter, where it is cold, and summer, where it is hot, and autumn, where there's a chill in air, and fall, when the winter is right around the corner. But there are some people that live in areas that only have 1 season. But no matter what the weather is, their lives are still turned upside down. The main point of this topic on homelessness is finding adequate housing for people who don't know where else to go. I have been homeless before. And what would you do if your life ended up with no housing, and where do you think you should go? I believe a lot of people wouldn't know what to do if they ended up homeless. Millions of people are born in poor living conditions. And according to the U.S. Census in 2009, 43.6 million people. It went up since 2008. So homeless families are still having issues in finding suitable housing. There are many ways in finding the right kind of housing for you and your family. There are homeless people that work. But when people work and they spend money on taking care of their families, they can't find that suitable housing. In 2009, there are acts and bills that are being signed in Congress that help with the housing. Although housing is there and help for them is out there, to make sure that their income is worth keeping, most families can't afford the upkeep of these homes. Nowadays, there is an act called the HEARTH, the Homeless Emergency and Rapid Transition to Housing. Also, HUD is another housing program that will help with suitable housing. Families and people don't ask to be homeless. It's their living conditions, their job and money situations, or their mental illness. You have also military men and women who come home and find themselves swirling out of control. They don't have the resources to find that suitable housing, or that they are handicapped and hurt from the service, and they don't have the money or the resources to help them. When you have the knowledge of what it feels like being without a warm home or having something to call your own, then you can better understand what they feel in their heart. Most homeless people and families have their mind set on one thing, and that's surviving. Survival is on their mind, but also knowing that you have the support to access things, that you don't know what's out there. So when you don't know anything about life, there is a deep place in your heart to look and to listen and to watch and see what your heart tells you. Being homeless is hard enough. Finding the right kind of housing for your family and yourself is so important. Thank you.